Welcome back to the channel. Today we are ripping the lid off the most secretive project at Apple Park. We're talking about the iPhone Fold, or the iPhone Flip, or whatever Tim Cook decides to call it when he walks on stage in 2026. Yes, 2026. I know. It feels like we have been talking about this phone since the iPhone X came out. But we finally have concrete details, actual specs, and a 3D printed mock-up that proves this isn't just vaporware anymore. Let's be real for a second. Apple is never the first to the party. They're the friend who shows up 3 hours late, but brings the best snacks. Samsung has been doing foldables for years, and while they are cool, they have issues. They are thick, the batteries are mediocre, and they have that ugly crease down the middle that feels like a pothole when you swipe over it. Well, rumor has it that Apple refused to release a foldable until they fix the crease. And according to these new leaks, they actually did it. This is the big one, folks. The third major leak we have received is about the hinge. We are hearing that Apple has developed a proprietary hydraulic liquid hinge system. Now, that sounds like something out of a sci-fi spaceship, doesn't it? But here's what it means for you. Current foldables use mechanical gears. They are great, but they leave a gap or a dip in the screen. A hydraulic system implies fluid movement, literal fluid dynamics that support the display from underneath. The goal here is a completely flat surface. When you run your finger across the center of this 7.9-inch display, you won't feel a thing. It will feel just like your iPad mini. And speaking of the iPad mini, that is exactly what this phone turns into. When you open this clamshell up, you are looking at a 7.9-inch internal display. For context, the old iPad mini was 7.9 inches. Imagine having a full tablet experience that you can fold in half and shove into your pocket. But what about when it's closed? This is where the design gets interesting. The outer screen is rumored to be 5.5 inches. Now, for the OGs out there, you will remember that 5.5 inches was the size of the iPhone 8 Plus. It's a very usable, wide aspect ratio. It's not like those skinny, tall remote controls that Samsung uses for their front screens. This feels like a proper phone when it's closed, and a proper tablet when it's open. But to make this work, Apple had to make some tough choices. And this next leak is going to divide the fanbase. I know. I can hear you screaming at the screen. We have all gotten used to just looking at our phones to unlock them. But think about the logistics here. If you want a screen that goes edge to edge with no massive bezels on a foldable, fitting that massive Face ID sensor array is a nightmare. So, the leaks suggest Apple is bringing back Touch ID. But not the home button. It's going to be integrated into the power button on the side, just like on the iPad Air. Honestly, I kind of love this. It means you can unlock the phone while it's sitting flat on a table without hovering your face over it awkwardly. It's fast, it's secure, and it lets them keep the device incredibly thin. And when I say thin, I mean razor thin. We're looking at a titanium chassis. Not aluminum, titanium. This keeps it light, but incredibly strong. The rumors point to the device being about 12 millimeters thick when it's fully folded shut. Now, let's play devil's advocate. The Samsung Z Fold 6 is around 12 millimeters too, and the Chinese foldables from Honor are getting down to 9 millimeters. So, Apple isn't breaking the laws of physics here. But for a first-generation Apple product, 12 millimeters is impressive. But when you open it, it's going to be around 6 millimeters thick. That is impossibly thin. But there is a catch. There is always a catch with Apple, isn't there? To keep it that thin, something had to be sacrificed. And that sacrifice is the camera system. If you're the type of person who needs that 5x or 10x optical zoom to spy on your neighbors, take photos of birds, this phone might not be for you. The leaks suggest a quad camera setup, but not in the way you think. You get one selfie camera on the front cover, one selfie camera on the inside, and then 2 cameras on the back. Just a main wide lens and an ultra-wide. No telepoto, no periscope zoom. Why? Because those zoom lenses require physical depth. They need space to stack the glass. If you want a 6 millimeter thick phone, you can't fit a massive zoom lens inside without a camera bump the size of Mount Everest. This phone is positioned more as a productivity notebook rather than a studio camera in your pocket. It's an iPad that makes calls, not a DSLR that sends texts. But don't worry about performance. This thing is going to scream. We are hearing reports that it will launch with the A20 Pro chip. We are currently on the A18, so the A20 is 2 generations ahead. It's built on a 2-nanometer process. In plain English, It's going to be insanely power efficient. And it needs to be, because lighting up two screens takes a lot of juice. To handle that, Apple is rumored to be using new solid-state battery technology. This is huge. Current batteries are liquid electrolytes. They're dangerous if punctured, and they take up a lot of space. Solid-state batteries are thinner, lighter, and hold much more energy density. We are looking at a potential combined capacity of 5,500 milliamps. That is bigger than the battery in the current Pro Max. So, theoretically, this thing could last you all day, even with that massive 8-inch screen running. And it gets better. Connectivity is getting a massive overhaul. We are expecting an Apple-designed 5G modem, finally replacing the Qualcomm ones, alongside Wi-Fi 7 capabilities. But the coolest feature? Satellite data. Not just for SOS calls like we have now. The rumors say the new chips will support actual data transmission over satellite. So if you're in the middle of the Sahara Desert, or just stuck in a subway tunnel with no signal, you could potentially still load a web page or send a message. It won't be 4K streaming speeds, but keeps you connected when the world goes dark. That is a game changer for travelers at SO. Here is the reality check. The pattern interrupt. The part where your wallet starts to cry. When can you buy it? September 2026. That gives you plenty of time to save up. And trust me, you're going to need to save up. The pricing leaks are aggressive. We are hearing a starting price of roughly $2,000. And that is likely for the base storage, which will probably be 256 gigabytes because Apple loves to squeeze us. If you want the 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte model, you are easily looking at $2,700 or even $3,000. That is the price of a really nice used car. It's the price of a MacBook Pro and an iPad combined. So the question is, do you wait? If you're rocking an iPhone 14 or 15 right now, can you hold out for another year and a half? Because this device represents the biggest form factor change in iPhone history. It's not just a better camera or a faster chip. It's a transformer. It's exciting, it's expensive, and it's risky. But if that hydraulic hinge actually works, and if that screen really has no crease, Apple won't just win the foldable war. They will end it. I want to know what you think. Is $2,000 insane? Or would you pay it to have an iPad in your pocket? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one of them. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button so the algorithm knows we exist, and subscribe.